Welcome to the Bringing Intimacy Back show, where intimacy is real. If you desire to intimately connect with yourself, your significant other, children, family, friends, community, and higher power, this show is for you. We explore intimate topics, inspiring life stories, spirituality, and insightful tips on strengthening relationships. The show is hosted by Dr. April and her co-host, Coach K. Let's get this episode of the Bringing Intimacy Back show started. We share with you today the secret power to intimacy to create a life you love or love the life you create. Now, here's your host, Dr. April, and co-host, Coach K.
Welcome to the Bringing Intimacy Back show, where intimacy is real. Welcome, Coach K. How are you doing today?
I am doing amazing. And how about yourself?
I'm doing great. Yes. So welcome to another episode. And today we are talking about the reasons why men and women do not make it in relationships, why they fail. Yeah.
It's definitely a hot topic around these days. You just see a whole lot of people talking about it. Why are marriages and relationships not lasting? Why? So definitely a good topic.
Yeah. And it seems like, especially, I know divorce, especially after COVID, and people have been so consumed together all the time.
Yes.
Yes. They're like, Cuddly, should I really stay? Or should I not go?
Yeah, learned a lot of things that time and space was able to hide. You take away time and space and boom.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so I'm excited about this topic. But before we get into the topic, we do have a charity of the month. And the charity of the month is Sisters for Sisters Network. One of the things that I love to do is help people start their own businesses or help mentor. And Sisters and Sisters is a great organization that provides an empowering environment for women to network. So if you're out there and you're thinking about, I don't know if I should start a business, should I network? This is the place to go, because having people around you, such as having you, Coach K, it's been a blessing.
I totally agree, because just that energy and that support and just knowing that somebody is there, and especially have a like-minded presence, it really does matter. So I'm definitely feel blessed to have you in my environment.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Well, let's get into this topic. And just since we just started about the environment, one thing that I have noticed because I do a lot of couples counseling. I mean, that's probably the most a lot that I do, is that sometimes couples get so involved, like we say, and they have no support.
Yes, absolutely. And it's one of those things where you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And because we're just kind of getting into this new era of it's okay to reach out for help. But what we saw beforehand was you don't involve people in your business. And so that's, how do we know when we actually need help?
Yeah. And it's good to have, if you're a couple out there, if you're struggling, it's good to have other couples or family members help support you, because in this world, you need others. You cannot isolate yourself.
And you take the good with the bad and you shake it up and you see what comes out of it, and just an example of a couple that I was with yesterday during the mindfulness yoga that I do. And she said, I did a little bit digging. I had to research who you were. And I said, you absolutely should. If you're going to involve someone in your relationship, you always want to know who that person is and their intentions, because every listening ear is not a helping heart.
Right. You're right. Because sometimes they have no experience, or sometimes they've got their own agenda.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right. And they even say that if you're a couple and you're struggling, or when one couple gets divorced or separated, somehow it like I don't know, filters into other couples.
It does. It really does. I watch a lot of those reality TVs shows, and you see it. Once one of them kind of get into a thing, it kind of sprinkles over into the other.
Yes, definitely. So yes. So I know you and I have just been talking about this, which is great, but we do also have an expert that's going to come on and is going to share with us some other reasons why men and women fall in love.
Fail.
Yeah, yes. And its name is going to be Andre, and we're going to welcome Andre Paradis in a moment to talk about why people just do not make it in relationships. We'll be back in a moment.
Are you wanting a vacation in paradise? A vacation to rekindle the passion. A vacation without the kids. A vacation where you can learn how to communicate, where you and your partner actually hear each other and gain insight. If so, vacation counseling is your next vacation. Dr. April Brown has created vacation counseling in Southwest Florida as a perfect option for you and your partner. Our retreats are one couple at a time. We have a variety of packages available to choose from, including virtual couples retreats. If you and your partner are interested in vacation counseling, please visit us at vacationcounseling.com for more information on pricing and packages. Also, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. To keep track of the latest news, stories, activities, or coupons on vacation counseling and Dr. April's other services, we encourage you to sign up to receive a monthly newsletter called Intimate Connections at draprilbrown.com. Remember, if you and your partner are struggling with communication and intimacy, and you all are looking for a retreat to connect, vacation counseling can be your next vacation in Southwest Florida.
Welcome back to the Bringing Intimacy Show, where intimacy is real. Ooh, hi, Andre. How are you doing?
I'm really good, ladies. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Yes. Andre is joining us because he is an expert in knowing the number one reason why men and women fail in love.
Mm-mm.
So, yes.
Uh-huh.
I know. And you have been, I've watched and read all your stuff. You are a man of many talents. You've been studying people your entire life.
Absolutely.
Yes, through a variety of different methods. I don't know if you guys know that he's a former dancer, which is awesome in that sense of the movement. And then you also, I guess you worked at an auto body shop.
I owned it. That was
Owned it. Yes,
Yeah.
fantastic. And so with relationships, many people think it's so hard and so confusing. But you have, through all your studies and being also, a coach, that you have been able to kind of pinpoint some things that we're going to discuss here. So welcome to the show.
Yes. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes. One of the things that we ask all our guests is, how do you define intimacy?
Oh my goodness, what a great question. How do you find intimacy? I think intimacy is a place where both people can let their guards down, get completely authentic with not only who they are, but what they are looking for, what they want, the juice that connects them, like what your heart's desire, your true heart's desire. And often we are afraid to talk about it or bring it forth, or even, I don't want to say ask for it, but a version of like, if you say it, then it's on them to provide. So we're afraid to say it in case they kind of can't meet us there, and or go, yeah, that's not it, that's not what I want. So I think intimacy is really a place where both people can come to a place of complete authenticity, and like, this is me, and they go, oh, I love all of you, accepting, and it's stepping into letting each other let each other be all of who they are, without having to bend, twist, change as opposed to completely accepted for who you are. And when that creates the dance of getting together. Now, how do we dance together from that space of you could be you, I could be me, and together we can be better and actually, feel a sense of connection and and well-being, because there's a lot of statistic on this in my world that both men and women are happier, are more productive, are healthier, live longer when they're in relationships, healthy living relationships. Okay, well, let's go there, right? Let's do that, because we know the other way is not. People aren't happy, people are struggling, people are isolated, and all that that happens in that place. So that's, I think, my idea of intimacy. Really, you be you, I be me, and how do we dance this together?
Yeah, I love that. In that sense of being, like you said, authentic.
Hmm.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's easy to we all do this. We all do this. You meet somebody and you try to present your best side, right? Like
right.
whatever. We all have quirks and things that we're all weird in different ways, and we all have broken pieces. And but we had all that stuff right from the beginning, just because we don't want to show our flaws because we're trying to impress each other. But that's not really authentic, is it? It's sort of
It's a
like
facade.
it's a freaking facade, right?
It's going to fall apart.
There you
Hmm.
go. So then often, I get this, like my clients, I see this all the time. There's a fantastic, it's funny because we're so much more, what's the word? We forget as human how nature drives us.
Hmm.
Hmm.
We keep forgetting that nature drives the freaking show like so much. And there's rhythm to life. There's rhythm to everything. There's polarity. Polarity is anything in nature is polarized. Anything that grows, that flourishes, that enhances, that make more of is polarized. There's no equality in nature, right? So there's a lot of false beliefs that we have in our culture about how things work best and how they should be to work best. And this is where I come in. Like what's culturally the new normal is not working, not for love dynamics. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
So
What do
so
you
yeah,
think
go ahead.
some of the reasons that we get polarized and we separate from that connection? Like you said, it's a close dance, but then we
Yeah.
start to go this way.
Well, what I'm saying is like the cultural belief is that men and women are the same and equal in every way. Do you know what I mean? And men and women are not the same. If you look
We're
at
not.
nature, even nothing in nature, male and females are the same. Like in animals, plants, humans. But we forget. We think we're all that, and we forget there's a system, the natural system that brings us together for reasons. Obviously, it's all about continuous species.
Hmm.
Period. That's the driver. The scientists now say that we actually are born to have sex to procreate first. Everything else is bonuses on top of it. We try to be good people and have a good life and change the world and enhance the planet on some level, right? We're up to but it starts at procreation. It starts at making life come to life and continue the species. So there's nature drivers in that are amazing, and there's no equality in this. It's always polarized: masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. And if we try to now that we neutralize males, or try to soften men, shame them out of being masculine, thinking it's bad and toxic. There's some of that, but that's not inherently. Masculinity is not inherently toxic, but it's really kind of how it comes across nowadays. So, and when we empower women, you go girl, you don't need no man. You don't need no man because you can't trust them anyway, right? Like, well, that doesn't work. You flip the script, right? Soften the man up the women. Now we're upside down double against nature because it's already complicated. Men and women, we're so different. Often is, mind derailing how different we are, and that's really part of the problem is not understanding how different we are and coming together with our differences. That's the point. Like dancers, right? Look at behind me. Look at behind me. It's a picture of my wife and I ballroom dancing.
Oh,
That's
beautiful. Yes.
beautiful.
Right. Now there is absolutely zero equality in that. Right? She's not any
Right.
less important than me because I'm leading. Right? She's not a noodle. She's not weak. She's not passive. Hello. Right? She's
Right.
actively participating in me taking her for a ride by being vulnerable and trusting me that I'm not going to drive her into a wall or a couple or a table. You know what I mean? So I love to be the leader and take on this adventure, but she has to trust me, which takes a little time in building. Like this practice going on here. You have to practice ballroom dancing or any kind of dancing when you do dance as a couple. That's the metaphors for relationships and partnership are exactly that. Two different pieces, two different people, two different energies, two different entities, masculine and feminine, if you follow your bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could flip it, but it makes it a whole different kind of ball game. Like you could flip it, masculinize the women and feminize the man. Nature will win. Your nature will win. It won't go long. It won't go past 10 years. I promise you. Your nature will win, right? So again, okay, let's go with that. If nature calls, and we line up with our bodies and our energy as men and women, and then come together to complement what men need. We need you ladies to help us with the part that we don't have. We need you ladies to make us more sensitive, to get us out of our heads, to make us present. We need that. Otherwise, we're beasts, disconnected and cold,
Right,
right?
right.
So, and then you ladies need us to show up and provide and protect, give, cherish keep you safe in the world. This is like
What
natural
do you
masculinity.
What do you think stops people from saying, even as a man, I need you to help me do such and such, right?
Vulnerability. There's a lot of like vulnerability. If you can't be vulnerable and understand that, well, everybody's afraid. I'm gonna tell you what I see all the time. People don't want to do this. People don't want. There's a commitment here. If you're gonna learn to ballroom dance with somebody, there's a lot of investment. There's commitment, and there's practicing, and practicing, and practicing, and practicing. Right? They're communicating without words. Incredible stuff they do. Have you seen ballroom dancers live? It's insane. It's so
Right.
beautiful. It's godly. And you go, oh my God, I got 5 years in the making, not 30 minutes. You know what I mean? In the beginning, you step on each other's toes, and it's awkward, and your communication is poor because she has her way and he has his way. But again, it's the two pieces blending. That's the partnership. How do we merge respectfully with her wants and needs and my wants and needs, and where do I compliment her what she needs to, and vice versa? It's beautiful. It's nature, right? But we somehow, what's happened is everybody's so freaked out, and everybody's so uh trying to find themselves, I want to say, right? Like everybody's like self-care, self-love, self everything is like, so people are trying to find themselves in the world, thinking when I find myself, like everyone is doing this, men and women, trying to find themselves and figure out who I am. And when I figure out who I am, then maybe I could find somebody to do life with, where you actually find yourself with somebody. It's how you find yourself, is in relationships, all your relationships, parents, work, but the ones who really going to bring you forth, all of your stuff, all your crap, even, is in the dynamic, love dynamic. Everything about you, by yourself, you don't learn anything, is what I'm saying. Like, the person you will say, do you understand that when you do this, it's really weird? I
Mm-hmm.
don't do that. Yeah, you do, right? If we have to be in relationships to find out these things that we're blind to, right? So finding yourself is not take 5 years off and go, up at the mountain, Calcutta, and meditate. That's not finding yourself. It'll ground you. I get that, but again, we learn about each other. The dynamics of living is really banging together and figure out who we are, and it's in that dynamic that you find out who you are. I have a client who's like, I make everybody mad everywhere I go. They all get mad at me eventually. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Right? Like, what are you doing? He's like, don't do that. Like, so, but you know what I mean? There's a not understanding. If she really invests with people and say, why do I make everybody mad, or how do I make you mad? She'll find out. Not being on a mountain isolated, I'm saying. You see what I mean? See what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just curious about, so like you're saying, we find ourselves in relationships. That's when you can learn more about yourself.
it all
And
comes right in your face. It's all
right,
in your
right,
face.
right. And but there's some people who make a pattern of bad relationships, like you
Mm.
said. Yes.
Now
So how
that's
do you stop that?
all right. Okay, this is interesting. This is so interesting. Good question. All right. So this may sound insane. I want to say this, but it's factual. Are you ready?
All right, I'm ready for
So,
it. All right, everybody
so
out there, if you're listening, yes,
and
please fly in. Yes, we're
I have
ready.
examples that I have actual clients with this. Is that if you're all right? So in almost 100% of all relation polarity dynamic, right? If you're attracted to a man, or if you're a woman a man attracted to a woman, the person that you're attracting to subconsciously, right? Because it ties up with your belief system about yourself and what you've been through and your decision you made as a 5, 6, 7-year-old about the world, yourself, life, people, right? The drivers are in place since you're a little one. And we forgot all about those things. Life is a terrible thing. I can't trust men. All women are crazy. I'm not good enough. I'll never amount to anything. Like whatever those things, those are the drivers. So what's interesting is subconsciously, without no actual reasoning from our part, cruise control, I call it, driving from the back, subconscious, you'll attract the person who um, will bring you the lesson. What I mean by that is if you're afraid to be abandoned, you will attract a guy who's not really committed or committable, and he'll trigger all your madness, right? So I'm working with a couple right now, and they're inverted a little bit. He's very soft and needy, right? And you go childhood stuff with his mother, abandoned. So when it comes to a woman, he goes, oh, he falls in love really quickly, and now becomes needy, right? That's kind of a drippy energy for a man towards a woman. You don't want to be, you want to be the man, right? You don't want to be like hanging onto her leg, but he kind of has that default from his trauma. I get it. Now get this, and you have to see them together. They're really like polarized, like they vibrate together, right? But they both vibrate the part of them that is off, which is nature again. So are you ready?
Right, I'm ready.
She
Listening.
has been abandoned by father and feels completely worthless in the world. So they're both triggering exactly their issues at each other. And that's the lesson. So if you don't, so the people you attract are typically you're the people you want to learn the lesson with, the ones that make the wheels come off. But instead of letting the wheels come off, you go, this is how I feel, right? And you expose your trauma. You expose. Some people need some help with that, which is my work. Like dig back into the past and go, right? I'm needy because, right? Both of them. And what's happening is as they trigger each other, instead of like fighting and falling apart because they're triggering each other's worst fear, we kind of go back to hold on. This is the point. This is why you're together. This is why you attract each other. You need to work this out and come together slowly, right? Because they're doing this freaking thing, triggering each other. But ultimately, go back to wait, is she abandoning you? Well, no, she needs her space sometimes. Is he right? Is he really a guy who's never going to be there for you? Again, she said the abandonment issue from her father, right? Right. And so get this, and this is really amazing too. Like this is like almost 100% in every dynamic that is polarized per our injuries. One of the ways that they show up is one of the partner is afraid to be abandoned, and one of the partners that could be either is afraid to lose themselves in the relationship. So one is afraid to be abandoned, the other one's afraid to get in fully, right? Which is the same thing. So there's always that polarity is what I'm talking about. It's just how it is. So instead of culture right now, we have this ridiculous belief that you're supposed to meet somebody and it's love at first sight, and oh my god, you have so much chemistry, and that blah blah. You finish other sentences, and it's all beautiful and fireworks and la di da. Now it's the same for everybody for about 3 months, and then life kicks in. Right, the chemistries of new relationships and all that stuff. There's a cocktail in there. Again, it's put in place by nature for us to come together and stick. Just say it's all nature stuff. Everything I teach is nature and science, not my opinion. So in that cocktail, everything is fantastic. And then what happens is after 3 months, and you've heard people say this, men, women, like it's different now. Women will say, well, he used to be so romantic and not so much. He used to take care of so much. And it's changing. Now that he got me, right? That's not what's happening.
Right.
Nature is bringing you back to life. Like, you cannot spend another 6 months with 2 hours sleep because you're making love all night long. It's like, no, we
Right.
got to get back to work. We got to get back to, right? So it's not, he's changing, is we're adjusting. But a lot of people think the moment it stops being fun, this is the stupidity. I hate to say it that way, but I feel it's really stupid, like small minded to think
Hmm.
that it's supposed to be this forever.
Right.
Impossible. It's not built that way. It's not designed that way in nature,
Right.
right? We've got to get out of that phase to grow
Right. Couples are going to
deeper.
change over time.
So, but right, but people think when it stops being fun, that means it's the wrong guy, the wrong girl. So move on.
Right. And that's not how it should be at
That
all.
is not at all how it works. It's the exact opposite. It's like these two that I was telling you about. They have to learn to basically check their injuries and realize that what they're looking for in that person and what they have to work out together is exactly the point. And this is how you slowly build something that becomes untouchable because you guys have been through, the, fixing the problems, fixing your triggers. Oof! I just went off, didn't I? Did I go off? You see it? It's fascinating. From my perspective, it's really really obvious. So it's easy for me to help people with that because just when you think he's making me I just want to strangle him. I'm like, aha, yeah, good, all right. So tell me how we got here, right? Like, well, he's just, does that remind you of something? Well, my dad used here we are. Here you go, daddy stuff right here. Okay. Is he your dad? Is he doing it like your dad? He's just reminding you of your dad, which is that.
Right.
Oh, oh,
And
oh,
you're right.
wait,
You're
oh,
right.
wait.
Many times we do pick people to resolve conflicts in our childhood.
Our subconscious is
Yes.
driven that way. You've heard the phrase, well, we only use 10% of our brains. It's because 90% of our lives is run by our conscious, subconscious. And
Hmm.
that's what we think would make choices, but all the cruise control is on with whatever whatever you're stuck on. It's kind of simple, but it's kind of a tragic thing at the same time because most people don't really understand that. So they keep going through a relationship and they break up and I always say this, like if you find yourself in a loop, whether it's for your career, not being able to make money or getting your stuff together or, say like relationship failure, relationship failure, relationship failure, relationship like always the same ending, a different guy, a different girl, like this. So I go, you guys, it's you. It's you. No, no, it's you. It's not man. No, it's you. It's
Right.
you. It's you. Let's get to work. It's you. Your whole life is screaming at you. Right? You're stuck. Oof. How do you like that? Factual though. Factual. Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. But it's so interesting that you said that, and I love how you put it as a dance because
Yeah.
that's
it is. It is.
it's
Again.
definitely this push and pull, you know. And so, as you're dancing through life, which is going to, of course, have different music, as we
Yeah.
put it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because things are going to happen. How do you, instead of pulling away, um, how do you work with couples to come together, to be together instead of, you know, dancing to other ends? The
Well,
music
it's
is rough, you know, there's stress, there's death, there's, you know, financial
yep.
loss.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
So you got to understand, like, when things go well, there's nothing to fix and life is good.
right.
Right? It's when things go awry that you need some tools, that you need some help, that you need some support, that you need to understand, that you need the conversation, that you need to tell the truth. Right? Like, you know what I mean? And often, what would trigger life goes bad. Again, as men and women, we're wired so differently. Like, women get their feelings hurt constantly by us males, but you take a poll, and we've done that. Men never really mean to hurt your feelings.
Right. And men are very sensitive and sometimes they don't.
Men, very sensitive,
Yeah, they don't say, hey,
very
I'm hurt.
sensitive.
I work with a
Right.
lot of men to just
Well,
say, I'm hurt.
right. But men will go into shutdown mode because okay, let's put it this way. So men hurt women's feelings all the time, not meaning to, not wanting to, even though for a woman, it's like, it's so obvious. You know it. And all the girls that are watching go, I can't believe you did that, said that. He's completely oblivious, right? So we're assuming that we know what we're doing when we mess with each other or hurt each other's feelings, and or for so typically men will hurt your feelings not knowing and not meaning to, which is unbelievable to you, right? On the other side, are you ready? This is the part that nobody talks about or knows truly, is that you ladies, by no fault of your own, are constantly, constantly disrespecting us. And you
I
don't
would
mean
agree with you
and you
there.
don't mean to. You don't know because it doesn't look like you think it does. Like something that is disrespectful to me is not disrespectful to you. So you're completely blind to it, just like we're blind to hurting feelings
Right.
or
And
how
I'm
we hurt your feelings.
right. And I would say on that same token that men see love as respect.
Okay, get this. Ooh, you're so good. Oh, you're so good. Are you ready? Watch this. Watch this for a mind twist.
Yeah.
When you cherish a woman,
Right.
which is all that's what you want. You want to be cherished by your
Right.
man, all right?
Right. Right. We
So get
need
it.
that
When
security.
you cherish a woman,
Yes.
she feels respected.
Right.
When you respect a man, he feels cherished.
Right. Exactly.
So we both need the same thing, but they come backwards,
Right.
right? Try to love a man without respecting him. He's gonna at you. He's gonna right at you. But I love you, babe. Yeah, whatever. If he doesn't feel respected, that means nothing. Now try to try to convince a woman that you respect her when you don't cherish her. You're gonna laugh right in his face, right?
Mm-hmm.
You laugh it. So again, we both want both, except they're filtered and land completely on opposition. Hello, that's important, and so that's part of the disconnect. That's part of the disconnect. Women think I want him to respect me. Well, you want him to respect you, you want him to cherish you. I want both. I go, okay, man cannot cherish you unless they feel, get this, unless you respect them first. Oh, I want to say it again.
Right.
Man cannot cherish you, fall in love with you unless you respect them first. So you
Right. And
can't.
then some women who are listening, they're like, how do I respect? And from what I see, a lot of it is what comes out of our mouths.
Hello, you said it. Ding, 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 ding. Right answer. Yeah. But again, it's you're blind to it. You don't mean to. You don't know what disrespect it looks like to a man. The same way we hurt your feelings and we don't really know that we did, and we understand why we did, and you're like, "Oh, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you." Well, okay, that's a winning combination. Be mad at me and don't tell me why. That's great. That's
Mhm.
great. That's really helping, right? But again, it's same thing. It's obvious to you what he did that was hurtful. We are it's so obvious to us when you're disrespectful, and but it's not. It is not obvious. You have to you have to call these out. When you do this is what happened to me. Is that what you meant? Oh, that's an opening line. When that happens, this is what happened to me. I didn't like it. Was that the intention? If you go check in with your man or your woman with that approach, respectfully, not I'm sick of your bull, right? when this happened, when you said this, with that, this is what happened to me. That was horrible. Like, was that what you trying to communicate? Was that the point? Is that what you what? And you always say, like, every time you bring that up, like, what? No, I was talking about Jack, and nothing to do with you. You'll be amazed how wrong we are with these freaking assumptions we make, not understanding respect and cherishing in a way that only lands in masculine and feminine bodies so hard. Wow, how's that? This is where things get complicated. That's what I'm saying. So it's not that we meant to make things complicated. We're different machines. We bring to each other the part that we don't have. Sensitivity for men, so we're not such beasts. For women, you need security. You're smaller and weaker. Your bodies, your mind know this, right? So you need men to make you feel safe in the world. The only way for you to relax and become feminine is to feel safe. Safe. Period. Now you're always, or you're never without that awareness that you're unsafe. You're small and weaker. You're never without it. Men have no idea that you're going through this because we don't have that at all. Men don't run to their cars at night. Men aren't afraid of elevators, staircases, parking lots. right? We're clueless that just always you have that, right? Because you're smaller, and men can take you over. So that whole understanding what's in our consciousness, each completely in opposition, is where the blind spots are. And so this is my work. Bring her into his reality, bring him into her reality. When a woman understands a man's motivations, operating system, what he's compelled to do naturally, what he wants to do naturally, what he wants, what he doesn't want, what works for him. When you understand that, I want to say like 50%, or if you understand that in the point where you actually go, oh, that's why he does that, right? 50% of everything he does to hurt your feelings disappears. 50%, half of everything you take personal can go away because you understand that's just my man. And right now he's single focused. And when he's single focused, don't try to talk to him because he's working on the car. And you can't. If I go to try to talk to him right now, he's going to get irritated. It's going to hurt my feelings, right? Just he's single focused. Okay, let him be. And when he's ready, finished with that, he'll show up and look at me and smile and smack me on the butt and give me a kiss and go, "How you doing, babe?" Oh, now he's present. You know what I mean? When he's sucked into missions and life, often it disappears like in the moment that you can't take that person. Anyway, so that's some good stuff. So my job again is to bring people, I call it on the bridge, right? Like if you're a masculine man and want to be in a relationship with a woman, right? I walk you across the bridge into woman world and teach you things, what motivates women instinctively, what
Right.
what what works for you, how much you need to be cherished, safety. Men have no idea, not because they're stupid, because we don't have that. We don't have any sense of safety. We're never ever feel unsafe.
Right.
Even at war, men don't feel unsafe. They're more afraid of losing their buddy or
Mm-hmm.
to die and lose their for their family. You know what I mean? To not be there for the family. They're not afraid for themselves. Like, it's incredible, right? So walk men into woman world and teach instinct about women, what you need, the small stuff that you need, the things that make you feel cherished and feel safe. It's huge. So they don't get 100% of it. Obviously, you can, but I call it like they end up sort of on the bridge. And the same thing with women. I walk women to man's world
Right.
and all the crazy things. You go, what the hell? Like the stuff that's confusing. What motivates him? What is he driven by?
Mm-hmm.
Why? His instinct and all the stuff he's compelled to that's in his body. And what happens is like you cross into the bridge, you learn this, you go, oh, and what happens now? You meet on the bridge in the middle,
Right. So,
have it
yeah.
right, having a sense of right, this could work, understanding where you derail and you trip each other off, and then you can start the dance.
Right. Right. So, Andre, if people are out there listening,
Yeah,
whether it's a male who wants to, walk that bridge to understand females,
yep,
or a female want to walk that bridge to understand males, or it's a couple that's like, we need help.
yep.
Where could they find you? And tell us a little bit about where they can find your resources about you.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, actually, I have also this good double answer for this question. I have a gift for you listeners.
Oh, you have a gift for
I have
us.
a gift.
Oh, okay. For me
Ready?
too. Yes, I'm
So
excited.
it's pretty awesome. I mean, tooting my own horn. I think it's awesome. So I created a page. If you go to www.andregroupcoaching.com, simple, right? You just andregroupcoaching.com. It's a landing page that takes you to my calendar. On my calendar, there's two slots called VIP for men and VIP for women. It's an hour call. And if anybody who's listening is resonating with what I'm saying and are curious about not only the work that I do, but and that 1 hour call, I go into what we talked about earlier. I go right into your trauma. Now, it sounds dramatic, but it's not. What I'm saying is, all of us, men and women, everybody, not one of us gets out of childhood unscathed. Between the age of 5 and 11, the formative years, we all get kicked in the head. We all have injuries by life, abandonment issues, abuse issues, neglect issues, you name it. There's all levels, obviously, but we don't come out of life, of that space, that time in life, unscathed. So again, I talked about earlier, like the belief that you create about yourself, about the world, about people, about life. Those are drivers that become your drivers So that in that one call, we go into what's not working in your life, and we go right for that spot. Like I'm really good at this. In 15 minutes, we actually find out what's happened. And then what's liberating about that for both men and women is like, because women call, especially women call me and they go like, "What's wrong with me? I can't get a man, and I can't attain, and I don't get a second date, and but I'm young and I'm pretty, I have money, I have a car, I have everything, I'm no trouble. What's wrong with me?" And I go, "Honey, let's go find out what happened to you, right?" And
Right.
seriously, 15 minutes, we put our finger on it, and it goes, "See, there's nothing wrong with you. It's you're a result of your past. Your past is driving you, and so that's all. There's nothing wrong with you. It's the normal reaction to what you've been through. It always is, right? More or less, like depending
Mhm.
on the trauma. And so from there, like just that alone, to know that there's not, like, oh, okay, there's nothing wrong with you. There's hope. You see the faces change. Then I go, so what's the dream? What's the dream? So we know what happened. We know now. We know what you want because go there. And so the big dream is, and then we can talk about what that looks like and how I can help. There's different ways for you to get invested or involved with big, small, medium, large. There's 5 different ways to work with me as you please, as you choose. So that's what I'm offering. And again, www.andregroupcoaching.com. My website, and I think you should have all this. My website is www.projectequinox, EQUINOX, like the equinox. The equinox, the perfect place between
Yes.
light and dark. Ah, I thought it was clever. Men and women, get it? Equinox. Oh, right.
Yes.
The sweet spot. ProjectEquinox.net. And I got a Project Equinox on Instagram at Project Equinox. I have Project Equinox on Facebook with Andre Paradis. And I'll send you the link. Actually, I emailed you, so all the links are in my signatures
Yes.
for all
Yes.
of these. Also, I also have a private Facebook group that is free, but you have to what's it like apply.
Right.
But I'll
Yes.
let you in. So there's a bunch of ways to work with me or to jump into the community of incredibly smart. The group is for ladies only. Because women are more after the information than men. Men come at me when they're in trouble, and I got to teach them not to do that because it's always typically too late. But
Yes.
women are more actively looking for this information. Why can't I? Why can't I? What is he? What is he? What is he? Right. So this
Right.
the Facebook group is for ladies only. There's like 2,000 women in there almost, and
Okay.
I
Awesome.
post stuff all the time on there. It's completely free, but
Yes.
you have to be admitted. Other
Wow.
stuff is So
Wow.
that's how you
Thank
would
you so
find it.
much, Andre. You have provided us with so much information.
Thank you.
And
Sweet.
I really do appreciate the work that you're doing out there because it's impacting lives
Yeah.
and bringing relationships and healing couples and bringing
Mm,
people together, like you said. And that's what we need in this world.
yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
my God mission. I'm just going to tell you this. You're not asking, but I have a fantastic life. I do this work. I also officiate weddings, so I get to marry
Oh,
some
that's
of my
right. That's
clients.
right. You minister too.
I
Yes.
do minister, so I
Yes.
have two clients. The past last month, I got engaged. After anyways,
Oh,
this so I go to Texas next July to marry one of the two couples. I mean, that's the choose, but the God. So my life is super satisfying. I do this work. I help people. And I marry them. I mean, but that's not the dream. That's not the mission. It's too small. The mission, the God mission. I look at it. So this is a mirror. So in real time, it would be this way. God is looking upon me and picked this guy. The calling is for me to make this information um, viral.
okay.
If I want to change the culture and the belief of men, toxicity, males are toxic, men are dangerous, men are cheater. No, 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 no. Right? There's all of that, yes, but that's not men, that's boys. So the idea of and empowering women to a point where they can be vulnerable. There's a lot of anti-nature beliefs in our culture. It's my job for the calling to recalibrate and teach people how to do this more lined up with nature, that is congruent with our bodies, that feels good, that's much easier and very fulfilling. That's the calling. I want it Oprah big. That's the calling. Oprah big.
Okay.
There's information out there, whether it's a TV show or some version of that. So thank
Right.
you for helping me spread the message for that purpose, because it's one podcast at a time, one client at a time, but the machine of it, because the dream is the big cultural impact and helping people build and sustain healthy, loving relationships, because that's how you raise and can raise healthy children who then can go on having healthy, loving relationship to continue
That's how you
the
change
family
things.
system, and the culture can stay together. Because right now, when you destroy family culture and culture falls apart,
Right.
society falls apart, and that's what we're seeing everywhere because we
Right.
destroy the
Oh yeah.
family unit.
And that's
So,
a whole topic in itself. So
well,
thank
That's
you.
what I was about to say. That's a whole
yeah,
topic
well,
in itself.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Andre.
Thank you, ladies. I so appreciate it.
All right.
Good
I'll
to
see
have
you
you.
later. Thank you. We'll be
Absolutely.
back in a moment. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Are you in a relationship with someone that you see often, but you feel so disconnected with them? Bringing intimacy back can help you bring the intimacy back to your relationship. BIB is dedicated to inspire, enlighten, and encourage intimate connections. Live shows, weekly guest speakers with over 29,000 downloads. We can help promote your products and services, grow your business and clientele with BIB. Want to become part of the BIB family? You can now sponsor with us.
Wow. That was so fabulous what he just talked about, what Andre talked about.
Absolutely. A lot of insight, a lot of helpful information, and a lot to think about. I love when we're able to get conversations started.
Definitely. And I love when we are highlighting couples and families.
Yes.
As you stated in the end, this is the way we change the environment in the world that we live in today, especially here in America.
Yep. No more just talking about it. It's time to start being about it. And
Yes,
speaking
yes.
of being about it, we have even more being about it topics that are coming up in the coming weeks. So in the coming weeks, we have some amazing guests. So on July the 14th, we have Mel O with Sexy Money. Every time I say that, I'm going to shimmy. On July the 21st, we have Dr. Barbara and Michael Grossman with Our Brain and Romance. And then on July 28th, we have Roxanne Chaput with Awakening and Enlightening Love. Then on August the 4th, August is right around the corner, we have Tilly Storm with Igniting Sexual Desire and Passion in Long-Term Relationships. Woo, we have a lot that's coming up, and I love it. Here every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And if you're just tuning in and you're like, wow, what did I miss? Well, you miss Andre Paradis, and he had some fabulous information about the reason why men and women do not work or they fail in love. And so if you're out there and you're listening and you're struggling in a relationship, or you're trying to figure out, hey, what can I do? He has some free resources out there for us. So you go to www.andregroupcoaching.com. Check that out. Check him out. And this has been the Bringing Intimacy Back show, where intimacy is real. I'll see you next week, Coach K.
All right.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Bringing Intimacy Back. We hope you enjoyed it. You can also find us at bringingintimacyback.com and Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. Dr. April Brown's 5-book series, Improving Intimacy, is now on Amazon, available in Kindle, Audible, or paperback. We'll see you next Thursday live at 3:30 p.m.